Oh, brother, is there a better feeling in baseball than a walk-off home run? Todd Frazier wouldn't argue after last night's ninth-inning heroics. Winners of 5 in a row, the Reds are the hottest team in baseball. And tonight look for a rare 4-game sweep of the Atlanta Braves. Oh, it's another beautiful weather night in downtown Cincinnati, and the crowd coming into Great American Ballpark to watch the hottest team in the National League, the Cincinnati Reds. Winners of 5 in a row. They've won the front 3 in this series against Atlanta, with tonight to be played in about 10 minutes. And hi again, everybody, alongside Chris Welsh. I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds baseball. Pitching, pitching, and pitching. You can talk about the home runs, you can talk about the defense, but right now the Reds pitching staff is rolling like at no point all year.
It really is, and it starts, obviously, with the starters. They're setting the tone in every one of the games that they played in the last 5. Homer Bailey, who gets the ball tonight, was lights out against the New York Yankees, and everybody else in the rotation as well. Johnny Cueto has been Johnny Cueto more times than he has been not all year long. Mike Leake has put together 2 solid starts in a row, including a very good one his last time out. And Matt Latos is the guy that we expected to see in his last start when he dominated the Atlanta Braves. Bronson Arroyo did not pick up the win last night, but nonetheless, that 5 starting staff is maybe right now on some kind of a roll, one of the best runs in all around in the National League, I can tell you that.
I mean, look at those numbers. I mean, you're talking about the Yankees and the Braves. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. So what about tonight? Homer Bailey trying to do what he did against the Yankees in his last start, and that's pitched one heck of a baseball game. But when we come back, we're going to hear from Todd Frazier. He's easily one of the most likable young men that has come down the trail in a long, long time. And boy, was he excited about the game-winning bomb last night.
By authority of the Cincinnati Reds, it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Just about ready for baseball here at Great American Ballpark. Crystal blue skies above, but what about the rest of the night? Our weather report brought to you by Thompson Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drain Cleaning. And here's Michelle Boudouin.
Another nice night at the ballpark, but a touch warmer and a bit more humid. 80 degrees by the beginning of the game, down to 77 by the 7th inning stretch. Mostly clear skies, and 74 by the final out. Enjoy the game.
Michelle, thanks so much. How about Todd Frazier last night? Was he excited?
Well, it came at the right time, that's for certain. The fastball that he got out over the plate, he drives it right into the first row. Todd Frazier, such an excitable guy, excited the fans here. He had so many messages when he came to the clubhouse last night. He couldn't wait to check that phone to find out who in the baseball world was watching the Reds game. As it turned out, a lot of people did.
My God, it was unbelievable messages. It's funny sometimes when you have a bad game, you might get 2, but now you have a good one. I got about 60 or 70. It was pretty insane.
60 or 70?
Yeah, text messages. You know, a lot of friends and family. I wish they did that on an over 4 too. That'd be great.
That's good stuff. All right, coming up, Frazier in the lineup. Reds going for the 4-game sweep. They have Homer Bailey on the mound. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio. Ohio, brought to you by the 2012 Ford F-150 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. By Cincinnati USA, let us be your travel guide to Cincinnati. Visit CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. We had it tonight. Game time is Skyline time. Stop by your favorite Skyline Chili tonight. Reds are taking the field here at Great American Ballpark. The 4th and final game against Freddie Gonzalez's Atlanta Braves. The Reds have won the front 3. And the Braves lineup brought to you by Axe Advisors. Michael Bourne, Martin Prado, Jason Hayward has started. Dan Uglin, Eric Hensky for Freddie Freeman at first. And again, David Ross for Brian McCann behind the plate. Pastor Nicky, the shortstop. Francisco still for the injured Chipper Jones. And Randall Delgado on the mound and starting it for the Reds, coming off a very good outing. In fact, Of his 8 starts this year, 6 of them have been quality starts. Homer Bailey.
Well, that 6 quality starts puts him in second place on this staff, right behind Johnny Cueto. And who would have thought that for Homer Bailey? Coming off a start against the New York Yankees in New York. He had a great time that day. Hope he has a great time tonight here at Great American Ballpark.
Michael Boyne, first pitch swinging, fouls it away. It's strike 1. This one underway. 82 degrees on a picture-perfect night. Bourne hitless last night. Of course, his second game of the series, he had 3 hits, including the first game in his career where he hit 2 home runs in a game. And in the opener, he went 0 for 4. It's interesting to note that in the 2 games where Bourne has not gotten on base, the Braves have scored exactly 2 runs total. In the air, left field, and playable in the bright sunshine. Chris Heisey's got it. 1 away, the Reds. Their defense has just been spectacular again this year. Last night, no different. And generally, it starts with Brandon Phillips. Heisey, Stubbs, and Bruce in the outfield. Frazier back at third, joining the regular cast of characters. And Mesoraco hanging the signs for Homer Bailey. One out for Martin Prado. 321 batter, 3 home runs, 21 runs batted in, and there's ball 1. Chris Conroy calling the balls and strikes tonight. What do we know about him, Chris?
Well, Chris Conroy is what they call one of the Elite 8. He's on the rover list of Major League umpires that come in when one of the 68 normal umpires can't make it. And, of course, Ed Hickox is out of the crew right now, given a few days off because he got a foul ball right off the face mask. And they were worried about concussion syndromes and so on with Hickox. So they called up a guy out of the minor leagues, and it is Chris Conroy. Young man from Williamstown, Massachusetts. He was the captain of his baseball team, his basketball team in high school. And he calls a lot of strikes. The 6th time he's been behind the plate this year.
That'll be a base hit over the drawn-in Frazier, and Prado aboard with 1 out here in the opening inning.
Well, you say that just about every time this guy comes to the plate. He led off the game, or at least as a second batter last night, with a double. Came around and ended up being thrown out at the plate by Joey Votto on a terrific play by Votto. You know, the one that Phillips made that we showed you had all the sizzle and pizzazz because it was such a flamboyant and athletic play. But the one that Votto made in the first inning that kept the run from scoring, of course Phillips did too, was equally as important to this ball game last night. When you don't score a lot, you got to be stingy on defense.
Jason Hayward not in the lineup last night. He's back in there tonight and batting in the 3-hole. The Braves have a lot of issues right now. You've got Freddie Freeman, who's been battling some vision problems here over the last couple of weeks. He's out of the lineup. McCann has the flu. Chipper has not started a game in this series with that injured left ankle after taking a line 1 hopper on Saturday down in Tampa Bay, flush on the ankle. Speaking of Chipper, they had a very nice ceremony before the ball game. Commemorative bases are being used in this series to salute Jones, who of course is retiring at the end of the year, and one of the bases was presented to Chipper during a ceremony by Walt Jocketty and by Scott Rowland. Crew that runs the scoreboard here at Great American Ballpark put together a beautiful video for the future Hall of Famer Chipper Jones. I think Scott Rowland's going to join him in the Hall of Fame as well one day. Their power numbers are very, very, very similar. Both over 300 home runs. Both over 500 doubles. Jones with more runs batted in. Of course, Rowland's missed a lot more time than Chipper Jones, but Jones closing in on 1,600. The one big disparity between the two offensively would be the career batting average. Jones is the only switch hitter in the history of baseball to hit not only over 300 home runs, but have a 300 or better batting average. Hayward waves through it, and that's out number 2. First strikeout of the night for Homer.
That's a good sign for Homer. Bailey has that split finger fastball working early on. You know, when he showed the Yankees last time out, maybe that was a breaking ball right there. The way that ball went down, it looked like it may have been a breaking ball. But what he did with the Yankees last time is show them with something a little bit different. A few more curveballs, more off-speed pitches. His control was good last time out. And when you're in a rotation, the way this Reds pitching staff is pitching, you don't want to be the first guy to go out there and give up a big number. So you've got that little extra motivation going.
2 away in the inning for Dan Uggla. Uggla clubbed a home run for the only Atlanta run in the game last night, his 6th of the year. Bailey has only had 1 bad start, and I mean it was ugly. We remember the game up in Milwaukee, lasted just 3 2/3 innings, gave up 6 earned runs. Were it not for that outing, I mean, you'd be looking at a guy who's putting together one heck of a year. I mean, statistically one heck of a year. I think we all agree, Chris, that so far he has made tremendous leap forward to begin this 2012 campaign. He's healthy and looks very good.
Hey, you know, and if you look at him from a pitching standpoint, it looks like he's dropped his arm angle just ever so slightly. Maybe to alleviate some of the pain that he's had in his shoulder and issues he's had over the last couple of years. But he's getting more movement on his fastball. It looks freer and easier to me.
One on, 2 out, runner goes, and it's in the dirt, and unable to field it cleanly before throwing was Devin Mesoraco, so give Prado his 5th steal in 6 tries. And the Braves, with 2 away, have a runner in scoring position. Atlanta came into this series the 2nd highest scoring team in the National League. They were only 1 run behind the Cardinals when they rolled in on Monday night. But offensively, they have been unbelievably quiet through the first 3 games. 1 run, 2 hits in the opener, 3 runs in game 2, 1 run, 4 hits last night. Payoff pitch to Uggla with the runner at second base and 2 outs in the inning. And he walked it. Prado, 1 out single. Now stands at second after stealing that base a moment ago. After Hayward struck out, Uggla draws a walk, and here's Hinske. Hinske's done a very nice job when he's asked to get in the lineup. His last 7 starts, he has 10 hits and 24 at bats. He had a real big-time run during a 3-game series earlier this year when Hayward was out. 2-0. Fastball right at the knees to get a strike. 2-1.
Yeah, that's a new kind of fastball for Homer Bailey that he's featuring a little bit more this year. That 2-seamer, he doesn't try to overthrow it like his 4-seamer. He keeps that ball down, has a little bit of sink on it. Good one to throw on a 2-0 count.
What's tight zone tonight for Chris Conroy?
Yeah, that one was just off the plate, evidently. Conroy, you know, if you look at the numbers on him this year, his number is 63.73 percentage of strikes called by Conroy in a game. Last year was 62.95. So he's really right in the middle of the road, maybe a little bit higher than normal. Well, that's where you want to get in on Hinske, though. He's a strong guy. You tie him up a little bit, take some of that power away. And that's always a key to any right-handed pitcher, though, when you can throw the ball glove side, meaning first base of home plate. If you get that ball out there consistently, it means you're getting good extension and you have some good action on your fastball.
Payoff pitch. Struck him out to retire the side. Got him to chase a high gas. A hit 2 left. Reds coming up. Starting lineup brought to you by Axe Advisors. Cozart, Stubbs, and Votto at the top. Phillips, Bruce, and Heisey in the middle. Last night's hero, Todd Frazier, batting in the 7-hole. Devin Mesoraco bats 8. Homer Bailey 9. Reds saw Randall Delgado when they were in Atlanta for that brief 2-game stop 1 week ago.
Well, they saw him at his best that night. Randall Delgado threw the ball very well, had a real good changeup. He's coming off a loss, though, the game that he pitched against the Tampa Rays over the weekend, and got beat up pretty good on that. Gave up a grand slam to Matt Joyce in that ball game. And when I watched that game on video, Tom, it looked like that he just wasn't able to get his breaking ball over the way he did against the Braves in Atlanta. So that may be a key for him.
On the first pitch, right by Francisco, and it's a base hit for Zach Cozart. Well, the Reds indeed had a tough time with Delgado. He went 6 2/3 innings, didn't figure in the decision. The Reds won the game 3-1. But in those 6 2/3, he only surrendered 4 hits and 1 unearned run. A year ago, they brought Delgado all the way up from Double-A Mississippi in the middle of June. When Tommy Hanson got hurt, and there's a strike to Drew Stubbs. Wound up starting 7 games for the Major League club and did a really nice job. 1-1 record, ERA of 2.83.
He's got a nice, simple delivery. He kind of slings the ball a little bit with his shoulder and his whole right side, but he's able to get his hand out there, good extension, and he was very effective at throwing that ball down and away the right-handers when the Reds saw him last.
One ball and 1 strike to Drew Stubbs. 244 batter, 5 home runs, 13 runs batted in. Throw down by David Ross, trying to catch Zach Cozart asleep at the wheel. Stubbs got a rare night off last night, at least through the front 7. Came on, got 1 at bat in the game, but you saw the numbers 3 for 7 in the series. 2 of the 3 hits home runs. Couldn't pull the trigger. 2-2. Francisco to the glove side. There's 1, and they will not double up Stubbs. Let's look at Atlanta defensively, presented by your Ford dealers. Hayward back in there in right field. Hinske at first base gets a start. And again, Ross behind the plate. Keep an eye on Stubbs. 8 out of 10 in stolen bases so far this year. He stole a base in the first inning 2 nights ago after an infield hit and wound up scoring on a Brandon Phillips home run. Reds are winning all these games here, 5 in a row, and Joey Votto by and large has been very quiet. 2 hits in 10 at bats, not a single RBI, and has drawn 1 walk. That's a good thing. Seems like the better part of a month plus this year and virtually all of last year, Votto and Phillips didn't hit, they didn't win.
You're right about that. In fact, they're not getting much production from the left side at all, but they are getting some real good left-handed pitching, especially at the end of the ball game. Talking about that guy.
Well, he picked up his 4th win of the year, 4-0. After getting a save the night before. 2-2 on Votto.
That's the changeup we talked about with Delgado. He had a very effective last time in Atlanta. He walked Votto a couple of times in that ball game. Really didn't want to pitch to him very much, but Votto's now had a fastball thrown by him upstairs and a changeup way out in front of low. So it's up to Votto to make the adjustment.
Temperatures certainly have warmed up, and for the first time on the homestand, we've got not just a breeze, we've got wind. Then you wonder, Chris, would it be much of a factor at Great American Ballpark tonight?
Well, it's a breeze that normally blows out of the west. It comes down the river from right field towards center field, and it does help balls that are in the gap. There's no question about that. Balls hit over towards the Reds bullpen or in right center field by the power stacks. They really take off.
Swing and a miss. Stubbs on the run. The ball is in a shallow center field, but Stubbs will stay put. So Votto again is retired. 2 out of 11 now on the homestand, and gives Stubbs his 9th stolen base.
Boy, Drew Stubbs had got a benefit of a bad throw from the catcher David Ross that time. That he was dead to rights because he did not get that big of a jump off the pitcher. And you can see by the body language in the face of David Ross, kind of discussing with himself not being able to get that ball down and catchable out there at second base. So you got a man out there to try to drive him in with 2.
We'll see if Brandon Phillips can get him home. Identical scenario we had in the opening inning 2 nights ago. Stubbs at second after stealing a base. 2 are out. Strike 1 to Phillips. He hit that long home run to straightaway center field after the Reds had fallen behind on the Michael Bourne leadoff home run. That gave the Reds a 2-1 lead, and they never let it get away from them. Brandon behind at 0-2. Delgado a glance at Stubbs, and they appeal no, says Mark Carlson. Mike Estabrook out at second, and the crew chief is Angel Hernandez down at third base. That time they ring him up. Back-to-back strikeouts of Votto and Phillips for Delgado. End of 1. We are scoreless. Here's for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK. Ohio Reds, the longest active winning streak in Major League Baseball. Cardinals, after getting swept over the weekend in Los Angeles, have come back to win 3 in a row over San Diego. They start a series tonight against Philadelphia. And how about the Tribe? They beat Justin Verlander today. Dayton, Ohio's very own Justin Masterson out-dueling Verlander in a 2-1 win. And the Indians sweep the Detroit Tigers. 3 in a row. There's a fly ball into right field, and this will be easy. 1 pitch and 1 out. Tribe now 8 games over 500. And they have a 4-game lead over the White Sox in the American League Central. They are 6 better than the Tigers.
You never saw that coming, did you? Of course, the Reds share the spring training headquarters with the Cleveland Indians, so you saw them play a lot. They played the first couple of games of the spring training season, a number of other games against them.
A lot of people forget that the Indians up to the All-Star break last year, I mean, they were among the best teams in all of baseball, and shortly after the break, they had one guy after another guy went down with injuries, and the entire season fell apart. They actually finished with a better record than the Reds did last year. There's a swing and a foul ball out of play.
They did finish up strong, but with the way they're doing it this year is they're winning on the road. They are 12-6 on the road, and they won their 14th game at home, so they're 2 over 500 at home this year, and they're 6 games over 500 on the road.
Shortstop Tyler Pastornicki has started every game of this series. 2-2 the count on him. 1 out, nobody on. This guy's not an easy out. They really like his future as an offensive player. Some have wondered, defensively, is he good enough to play there every day and be their long-term answer at shortstop? Well, he's going to get a chance to earn it and be that guy. His backup is Jack Wilson. Into right center. 2 out. This weekend at Great American Ballpark, you've got the Reds 4 for $48 ticket deal. So for $48, you get 4 view level tickets. Those are great seats, and they'll throw in 4 Reds hats. And so much going on. We've talked about it. Tomorrow night, Fireworks Friday. Scott Rowland Rawlings Gold Glove Award replica trophy giveaway night Saturday. And Sunday, Kids Binoculars giveaway. So 513-381 Reds, or visit Reds.com for tickets. Come on down. The Rockies in town beginning tomorrow night. And of course, Greater Cincinnati native Jim Tracy, the manager of the Colorado Rockies. Always great to see him. This club has really been struggling. They finally got a win in the series finale down in Miami last night, and they have enjoyed it. An off day here in Cincinnati today. 1-2 on Juan Francisco. Sure, Jim Tracy had a chance to see a lot of family and friends today.
I'm sure he did.
Grew up in the same hometown as Dodger legendary manager Walter Alston. That was a huge deal when Tracy became the manager of the Dodgers.
One of the all-time good guys in baseball, Jim Tracy.
No doubt about it. 1-2-3 for Bailey. He's fanned 3 so far in the game. Bruce to lead it off. No score. Expectations are running high, and why not? For A.J. Green, and he likes it that way. Plus, the Bengals have signed a former Buckeye. It's all on Fox Sports Ohio. Check it out. We're in the Buckeye State, where both the Reds and we mentioned a moment ago the Indians are red hot. Jay Bruce, a .258 batter, 10 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Hitless in the series. That is a fair ball, and Bruce trying to bunt his way on is out.
Well, you know that Jay Bruce has been struggling, but against Delgado, the last time they faced him in Atlanta, he was one of the few guys that actually hit Delgado, hit a double and a single against Delgado. Now, those white lines you see right there indicate the batter's box. There is no white line that goes through the batter's box to indicate fair or foul. It's an imaginary line that comes from the plate, extends right into the foul line, and that was definitely a fair ball.
Strike one to Chris Heisey. just missed it. Got underneath it a tad and lifts it to Prado and left. And very quickly, after 3 pitches, there are 2 Reds out here in the 2nd inning. Now, the last time Todd Frazier was in that batter's box, he sent everybody home in good spirits. That fly ball to right that landed in the very first row beyond the right center field wall, out of the reach of Jason Hayward, giving the Reds that 5th consecutive win. And this one will sneak through into left field, a 2-out base hit.
Well, Todd Frazier came up there, game on the line, little inside-out swing, front row, yes, game winner. And they're waiting for him in the clubhouse. They had a chant going in the clubhouse last night with a little clapping going on. Todd Frazier. And it was like a high school team. I mean, these guys were pumped up last night. It takes wins like that to really galvanize your team, bring them together from a chemistry standpoint. Reds have had a lot of those games. They took a few on the chin last year, but they're winning their share this year.
Mesoraco jammed on the first pitch fastball and just barely beyond the reach of David Ross. Strike 1 to Devin.
And one of the reasons they're winning their share this year, other than heroics like Todd Frazier last night, is that their bullpen has been simply lights out. And your starting pitching has been good enough to keep you in a game. The Reds have done a lot of damage against the opposing team's relievers. Meanwhile, the bullpen has been very stingy. That's a combination for late inning success. Heroics, reasons to not leave the ballpark early.
Dusty Baker was talking before the game. He said, I can never remember being not even 2 full months into a year and getting less sleep than I'm getting this year, because every night 2-1, 3-2, 4-2. He said, aren't we due for at least one laugher? You know, one 12-1 game. I said, you believe that's going to happen? He said, not real soon. You've done a nice job. I mean, there were a lot of people around here, and hey, look, we all get impatient. The team was not playing well. There were a lot of very bad warning signs, and look, it's still not perfect. But the bottom line is that he's found a way to stay very patient. Some of the players have been very, very high and then very, very low. There's been a lot of that. And then you consider everything that's gone on in the bullpen. The Sean Marshall saga, and deciding all of a sudden that he was going to take Marshall out of a couple of games. I haven't seen a lot of managers in a long time taking their closer out of the game. And you can say, well, he's not an established closer, and you'd be right on that. But there still aren't many managers that take their closer out of the game in the 9th inning.
And he would probably be among the list you'd say would be the last to do that.
Yep.
Because he's so patient and believes in his players so much that he was just forced to do it. I think that was part of it. The other part of it is that he has a hammer in the bullpen that no other manager in baseball has. And there he is.
Now Homer Bailey with 2 on and 2 men out. A 2-out single by Frazier, a 2-out walk to Mesoraco. Bailey, 1 hit and 15 at bats, but does have a pair of runs batted in. Fastball and a beauty. Knee high outside edge to get ahead, 0-2.
Well, he's down 0-2 right now, and Delgado's already struck out 2 batters. Both on fastballs. Got Votto on a fastball, Phillips on a fastball. This is where you just try to make contact. You spread your feet a little bit, you crouch down, kind of like Brandon Phillips does. You choke up on the bat, and you tell yourself, I'm simply not going to strike out. Maybe I'll just dunk one in over the second baseman's head and drive a run in.
Then he pulls a string on you, and that's it.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
No score. We go to the third. American Ballpark, Penn Station, East Coast Subs. You can find them located near sections 130, another at 414. Boy, their subs are unbelievable. Authentic, fresh-cut fries. Come on down to Great American Ballpark, and while you're here, try Penn Station East Coast Subs. They were kind enough to feed the crew last night.
And they were good, too. That's the only time this booth has been quiet. When that box of Penn Station subs arrived, all the guys chowed down. All of a sudden, the noise level went from jet engine level to nothing.
That's the only complaint I have about this gig. You know, I try to come in here and be very mellow and quiet, and you guys are always raising Cain. And
yeah, you're a lot of things. Mellow and quiet are not two of them. How we looking?
Randall Delgado to lead things off. You know, the way you said that, you know, people at home might think that that I get under your skin from time to time, leading up to ball games. 3-0 now on Delgado.
You ever had clutter overload?
Yes.
Where you put up with it for a while and all of a sudden it just hits you. You're kind of like, you're live clutter.
Thank you. 3-0 to Delgado. And there's a strike. Delgado fanned Bailey, stranding 2 in the bottom of the second inning, and there's a borderline strike for Homer. He'll take it. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Homer's delivery just looks so free and easy. It used to be slow and deliberate, right over the top. His fastball used to seem like he would put everything into every pitch. It's almost like he adopts a little bit of what Johnny Cueto does, which is pitch at 90% and have something left in the tank when you need it.
Don't miss Free Agent Friday before the Rockies game tomorrow night. Join Christine from the Fox Sports Ohio Girls out in the fan zone. It's on the west side of Great American Ballpark. She'll be handing out prizes to lucky winners. Spinning music over there, DJ Sam. Free Agent Friday. Which one is Christine? Do you know?
I do not.
Well, you rode around with them in the Findlay Market Parade. Right?
Yeah, you put me on the spot now. You're right. I should know.
Well, you had a lot going on that day. I don't mean to bring that up even on the air because, on opening day, you're all pumped up and you're nervous. And, I mean, outside of meeting, some famous figure or something like that, and it'd be hard on opening day to remember that. So I even apologize for calling you out on that. There's a lot going on opening.
I really should know, though.
No.
The Fox girls are.
You get a hiccup on that.
Have been for the last couple of years. And Jim Day's going to be having lunch with them and some lucky fans.
Boy, Bailey, his breaking stuff just continues to make unbelievable forward progress.
I mean, the progress you see on it, I'm convinced is from he's able to back off the throttle just a little bit, not try to throw everything at 100%, which is a young pitcher is what they do when they come up, because that's what got him there. It's what got him drafted in the first place, was the 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And he thought that everybody wanted to see it, when really what everybody wants to see is that pitcher get a lot of guys out at the big league level.
ground. Phillips won't get to this one.
This guy has a knack, does he not? I mean, he bloops balls in. He did it last night. He did it in Atlanta. Every time you turn around, he's on base.
There are a lot of players up and down this Atlanta Braves lineup that obviously would be better known to baseball fans around the National League and all over the game for that matter. But I'm not so sure right now today as we sit here that Prado's not their best player. Now, he's not going to hurt you with a power like some of the other guys. McCann when he's healthy. Obviously, Uggla can hurt you with a long ball, but as far as just an all-around player who can beat you in more ways than anybody in their lineup, I think Prado's the best player on their team.
Well, he's a table setter. I mean, you don't need everybody hitting home runs. You need somebody to get on base so that when the run producers show up, you got somebody out there.
1-1 to Hayward. He struck out swinging against Homer Bailey in the opening inning. Homer's fanned 4, walked 1, allowed 2 hits, both of them to the man who leads at first base here in the top of the 3rd inning of a scoreless game. And a fastball at 92 right in on his knuckles, and it's fouled out of play.
Boy, the location for Homer Bailey tonight has been superb. So many times over the years we used to see Homer trying to get that ball in on left-handers and only to overthrow it, fly open, leave the ball out over the plate and have it ball kind of run back over the middle and get hammered. But he's just staying right behind it tonight.
One ball and 2 strikes on Hayward, and Bailey to the plate, and that went in the dirt and smothered beautifully by Mesoraco, preventing Prado from advancing 90 feet. 2-2 to Hayward. Told you the Rockies in town over the weekend. Johnny Cueto gets a ball tomorrow night. 7:10, 7:15 Friday and Saturday nights. A 1:10 start on Sunday afternoon, and the Reds are on the road. 3 games in Pittsburgh, followed by 3 in Houston, and then come back for a long stay. Runner goes. Pitch taken low, and Mesoraco again trying to find the handle, and that's an easy steal for a second time.
Yeah, they figured that they're probably going to get an off-speed pitch right there, and that's a good pitch to run on. Jason Hayward struck out on a changeup the first time, so you figure he'll get another one right here. He does. This one in the dirt, and if you don't get a good grip on it, you're not going to be able to throw a runner out. That one was stolen on Homer. That, by the way, the first stolen base Homer's given up this year. So he's second. Oh, he had one tonight. I thought that was a wild pitch. No?
In the air, right field. And this will end the inning. Bailey very sharp through the front 3. See if the Reds can get it going offensively. No score at Great American Ballpark. No score. Top of the order. Here in the Reds' 3rd inning, Cozart single to left his first time up and looks at a ball. No runs, 2 hits, 3 left for Atlanta. The same for the Reds. Reds beginning play still a half game behind St. Louis in the National League Central Division. Certainly the Padres have provided the right tonic for the Cardinals, winning 3 in a row, coming back off a terrible trip. Sinking liner into center field, into the mitt of Bourne, 1 out. Stubbs coming up. And even though the Philadelphia Phillies have not been the Philadelphia Phillies with all the injuries they've had, so far this year, especially to Ryan Howard and Chase Utley. The Phillies, we know, can pitch. And they are about to open in about 10 minutes from now a 4-game weekend series against the Cardinals. Joe Blanton will be on the mound in that one for the Phillies. There's ball 1 to Drew Stubbs, and starting at 4 St. Louis is Jake Westbrook. Both pitchers, 4 wins, 4 losses. Base hit right center field for Stubbs.
Good stroke by Stubbs there, a little inside out, shooting that ball to right. Ross wants it down and away. It kind of comes back over the plate a little bit, but you commit yourself to keeping your hands inside, you'll make good contact. That's the kind of stroke that they've been working on with Drew Stubbs in batting practice for years. Maybe just beginning to come up a little bit.
Stubbs, you may remember, did not get a good jump back in the first inning. He was at the plate when Votto, or was at first base when Votto was at the plate. And on a swing and a miss, strike 3, Stubbs running on the pitch. Arrived there safely after a poor throw that was high by David Ross. So Stubbs 9 of 11. Not only the Reds' 5-game winning streak, their longest of this year, as Votto bangs one into center, and Stubbs will easily advance first to third. And here come the Reds in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
It looked like the Braves had reverse coverage on that double play, meaning that the second baseman was going to play way around in the hole. And when Joey Votto comes up the middle with that ground ball, there's nobody there to catch it. They normally, as you have seen in the past, will play a big shift on Votto from time to time, and the Reds go first and third on a couple of singles. So opportunity knocking.
So now Brandon Phillips, he struck out looking, ending the first inning. Reds trying to jump out in front here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Slow roll to short. They get one, and they turn the double play, and just like that, the inning is over. Still no score.
And he's kind of a quiet, unassuming guy, kind of walks to his own path, but during this series, he has been the pie-in-the-face guy. Homer leading the charge, pieing Mike Leake on Monday night, and then last night, Todd Frazier. Now, look what the boys did in the locker room today. It was frame-by-frame pictures of Frazier getting it in the face. This is a guy, you talked about it earlier, that, well, the players love. And they had a college-like chant, as you boys talked about, in the clubhouse. And, man, they were razzing him big time about getting that pie last night, and also razzing Homer Bailey that he kind of missed. Homer got half of it on him, but 2 young guys the Reds hope to build around here in the future.
Well, you're not kidding. In fact, you know, I mean, we talk all the time about what a great kid Frazier is, and there are so many others on this Reds team. But, you know, he was down there talking to a couple of the writers before the game, and I walked over to him. I said, Todd, I owe you a huge apology. I hope you have 50 more of those moments, 150 more of those moments in your life, where you can go back and show your kids and your grandkids one day that, you know, you did this and you did that, and a game-winning home run. And I said, but whatever you do, don't use my call from last night, because if there's ever a guy that kicked it down the road when he had the chance, it's me. I'm sorry. I thought Hayward had it. He was laughing. He knew all about that I'd choked it off. So he turned right around and gave it right back to me. Yeah, thanks a lot. I said, look, Jim Kelch's call was awesome. Just dub that in the highlight reel. What a good guy.
The guys love him.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't do the kind of thing that they did with the posters on the wall unless you love the guy.
That's right. In the air to Bruce, one out. I mean, he is a Jersey guy all the way. And, you know, oftentimes, I think a lot of time, Chris, you and I have talked about this before, a lot of time guys from New York or New Jersey, you know, there's this sort of stereotype that's out there, and, you know, a lot of other places too, but, you know, when you get to know some of the real Jersey, New York guys, I mean, they're some of the most fun guys in the world to be around because they love giving it and they love taking it, giving them a hard time.
Well, he's a fun guy to interview because he just doesn't give you athlete speak.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't talk in cliches, you know, oh, we're just trying to win a ball game or we're doing it day by day. I mean, he's letting his hair down and telling you exactly what he thinks because he doesn't know how to talk, you know, athlete speak. And it's very refreshing. Although now I know why it's always Jeff Pecoro on the field, because Pecoro almost got half of that shaving cream on him. And he likes his studs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he dresses up nice. Now I know why that Jim Day stays in the Fox condo up there. And Pecoro's on the field.
That's right. Pick's down there amongst it.
Yep, he absolutely is.
Look at Day. I mean, Day's down there even in the dugout. Nowhere near that place, Jim Day, post-game celebration.
He's behind a security tape.
2 down in the inning, and David Ross takes off the inside corner. But you know what, though? I mean, those are Jim's peeps at the Fox Sports Ohio condo.
Yes, they are.
One and one to Ross. 2 quick outs for Homer Bailey. And now ahead of Ross at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Got a nice little pitcher's duel going on right here. Both these pitchers seem like they have good control of their breaking stuff, changing speeds on the fastball where they want to.
I'd like to send out our thoughts and prayers. The Reds lost one of their great fans, 89 years young. Dorothy Feldkamp passed away earlier this morning after a long battle with dementia. Survived by 3 kids, 11 grandkids, and 1 great-grandchild. Never missed a game. So our thoughts and prayers out to her entire family. 2-2 on Ross. Bailey trying to put the 4th inning on ice, and that he does on a breaking ball. His 5th strikeout of the game. And for a smoother pour, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. All right, time now for our AT&T trivia question tonight. Since 1940, who are the only 4 switch hitters to have more hits than Chipper Jones? Well, one of them's a layup. Really, 2 of them are layups. But of course, here in Cincinnati, I mean, one's not a layup. It's a stand over the rim, hang over the rim, 4 feet slam dunk. Jay Bruce leads things off here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Jay will be followed by Chris Heisey and Todd Frazier. No score. Reds have 4 hits. Braves have 2. Reds had by far the best scoring chance for either team in their last at bat. They had Stubbs at 3rd, Votto at 1st with only 1 out, and Phillips into the inning on a ground ball double play. Boy, everything right now to Bruce is away, away, away.
One thing he's not figured out how to do in his young major league career is stop the bleeding. I mean, everybody goes through slumps. Everybody goes through times when it seems like the pitchers are making perfect pitches on you. You're not seeing it. You're finally getting a ball. You're fouling it back. You know, those things happen to everybody. But with Jay Bruce, it seems when it happens, it lasts longer because he hasn't figured out how to simplify his swing to stop the bleeding. But when he's seeing it right, that big swing of his and that timing is on. Look out. He's carried the ball club. But right now he's in one of those troughs.
Heisey flied out to the left fielder. Martin Prado, his only time up tonight. And there's a base hit into left field, the 5th of the night for Cincinnati against Delgado.
Heisey was another one of those Reds that had a pretty good night against Delgado the last time he saw him. Had a couple of hits, including a double.
So now Frazier. And that is a bullet that is fair into the corner, and Heisey is off to the races. He's on his way to third. He's going to score. They're going to wave him around. 1-0 Reds on the double by Frazier.
Boy, Todd Frazier just poised at the plate, waiting for a first pitch fastball, and he gets it right down on the inner part of the plate, just where he likes it, rips it right down the line. And Heisey, of course, with his kind of speed, he just turns it on right here. He's being waved around by Mark Berry all the way.
Heisey can run.
He can run.
Mesoraco, Devin walked his only plate appearance tonight. Breaking ball, they fire down to second base.
But this ball club is a good, very athletic team.
Yep.
Especially with Heisey in the mix playing left field.
Frazier, he is safe at second base. He's safe and secure.
New York life.
Mesoraco, a two-hopper, and that's out number 2.
And maybe when Frazier hits that, we should change it to New Jersey life. You think they like that?
Well, if there's a company called New Jersey Life, they'll really like it.
Oh, no. Well,
but I don't know if New York
let's hope
Life.
there's not. Yeah, there could be. Not that big of a place, is it?
I'm not normally a betting man, but I would bet there is a company called New Jersey Life.
All right, well, let's go back to the drawing board on that one. Stay with the script.
Fair enough.
New York life.
A New York life indeed. 0-1 to Homer Bailey. He struck out, stranding 2 back in the second inning. Bailey makes contact, but this will be the final out of the inning. A scoring inning for the first time for either side. Frazier doubles home Heisey for a 1-0 Reds lead. Together with the food service industry for over 30 years. Buy your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com and buy AT&T. the nation's largest 4G network, AT&T. Rethink possible. All right, our AT&T trivia question, and now the answer. Since 1940, talk about all the switch hitters in Major League Baseball. Only 4 of them have more hits than Chipper Jones. Well, we know Peter Edward Rose would be one. We know Eddie Murray would be another. Omar Vizquel and Roberto Alomar. Omar Vizquel. Well, what a great career he had, didn't he? Almost 2,900 hits. Eddie Murray and Pete. Murray, 32.55. He was the entire package. Much like Jones from a power and hitting standpoint. Look at that number for Rose. Every time I see that number,
it's unbelievable.
It really is. I mean,
1,000 more hits than Eddie Murray. 1,000.
First pitch swinging. And that's an easy out. Past Janicki into the glove of Jay Bruce, and Homer Bailey now 4 1/3 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball. He's fanned 5 and walked only 1. Good crowd tonight. Great to have you with us here at Great American Ballpark. Reds trying to sweep a 4-game series from the Atlanta Braves.
Well, they've not done that in Cincinnati since 1980.
Yeah, it's here at home, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And in that 1990 year, when the Reds won the World Series, they swept them in a 4-game series, but that was in Atlanta. But here in Cincinnati, I mean, you are going back a long ways. Bailey's retired 11 of the last 12. Prado has both of their hits. And the only other base runner was a first-inning 2-out walk to Dan Uggla. You know, it's very early in the year. I mean, you're only talking about Bailey's 9th start, but, you know, Chris, perhaps we're starting to see the full maturation now of young Homer Bailey.
Well, you certainly hope so, because it's been a measure of inconsistency so far. But he worked very hard over the winter to strengthen his shoulder. That was one area that really bothered him last year. It's bothered him every year. He's been on the DL just about every season. But he just seems so much more in control right now. Not trying to throw the ball with every bit of effort on every pitch. I would think that pitch right there would set up a nice little changeup down and away.
You called it. Good night, Irene. Or good night, Juan.
I mean, not really hard to call that if you're just thinking along with Devin Mesoraco back there or Homer Bailey. Bailey will shake him off from time to time, but I mean, that's pretty obvious after you do a little, I can't say chin music, but underneath the elbows. And one of his best pitches on the night has been that split finger changeup that he's throwing. Set him up and use it.
2 outs for the pitcher Delgado, and he's down a strike, fouling it over the screen and out of play. Twelve of the last 13 set down by Bailey, including the last 6, and that string comes to an end.
Pretty good swing right there.
Indeed it was. That was stung into left field.
You know, sometimes you get a couple outs and you get the pitcher up there and you're thinking, all right, I'm just cruising right along. I'll just throw this fastball right in there on him. And Delgado's a pretty good athlete.
Well, we saw some numbers earlier about Homer Bailey with nobody out, batting average against, 1 out, batting average against, and then with 2 outs in an inning, that batting average skyrockets against Bailey up around 350. It's hard to figure, isn't it?
Well, it is, but it's also just an emotional letdown sometimes that you're cruising right along, and sometimes, you know, when you warm up for an inning, you know, you get your 8 pitches, between innings. And there's what you were talking about, Tom, how that batting average goes up to 330, starting at 200, first batter of the inning. But, you know, the coaches have told you, get that first batter out. Make it easy on yourself. Get the leading lady, is what a lot of coaches used to say. So you get the first out, then you say, oh, I'm going to bury the next guy, and you get him out. And then you say, oh, I got 2 outs. You know, maybe you relax a little bit. Maybe you try harder, you try for a strikeout instead of just pitching your game. But for whatever reason, I'm not sure you can really draw any conclusions from those numbers, but interesting nonetheless. Glad you brought him up.
A 2-1 lead. They tried to run one in on Michael Bourne, and they should have learned from the other night. So there you have it. 2 outs in an inning. Retired the first 2 batters, allows a base hit to the pitcher, and now the lead is gone.
Well, you should be. Remember the other night, Michael Bourne hit a couple of home runs the other night, and they were on balls that were up and in. He's got a very quick short stroke up there, and that's the only place he's going to hit a home run, when you get that ball right in that spot and he hits it to right field. Man, oh man, that's got to really singe Homer Bailey, figuring the fact that he is pitched the Bourne so well tonight, has such a good changeup that he can feather on the outside part of the plate. Well, maybe he wanted that ball up and in like he did to Francisco to set something else up later in the at-bat. Just, there's a place you can't miss, and it's over the middle of the plate. Kind of odd, really, because in the game that they matched up before, same pitching matchup, Delgado and Homer Bailey.
Well, they're going to retire Prado for the first time tonight, but 2-out damage. 2-run home run by Bourne. Braves have their first lead of the night. Second, and this year, make sure you fundraise for the Reds Community Fund and be rewarded with Reds tickets, signed memorabilia, and so much more. For more information, visit Reds.com/run. Top of the order against Randall Delgado. A 2-run home run by that man. Michael Bourne has given Atlanta a 1-run lead. Cozart is singled and flied out to center field.
Boy, of all the guys in the lineup that you think would come in here and hit the number of home runs that he has hit in this series, the last guy you'd pick would be Michael Bourne.
Bourne had 1 home run the entire year when the Braves came in on Monday. He's hit 3 in this series. Right at the third baseman, Francisco, 1 out. He had 1,400 or 2,800 career at bats. Did Bourne coming into this series. Think about that. Over 2,800 plate appearances and had 14 home runs. He's hit 3 in 2 games.
Well, even when he was in college using aluminum bats back in the days when he played for the University of Houston, he was not a home run hitter at all. In fact, the only reason he signed is because he stole 90 bases as a college player one year, and that would get your scout's attention.
Just like our man Billy Hamilton. 42 games, 42 stolen bases.
That's
so far
pace.
this year.
I like that.
A little tapper down to Francisco. He'll back up on him. Shows off that strong arm. And easy outs for Delgado against Cozart and Stubbs.
Well, he's just rolling right along as Randall Delgado. You know, Delgado's from Panama. There aren't all that many major league players from Panama. He's from Los Santos, Panama. Braves signed him as a free agent when he was 16 years old.
Well, they may not have many, but they have one of the all-time greats from Panama.
Now that I said that, I remember exactly who you're talking about. Yes, Mariano Rivera.
Indeed. Well, you hope he makes it back.
Sure do. And he will.
1-1 to Joey Votto. Well, where in Cincinnati, USA is Jim Day? I know where he is right now, but what about the rest of the weekend? Stay tuned to Fox Sports Ohio and follow the Reds live host as he visits Cincinnati, USA's attractions and events. Jim is going to play a prominent role, I understand, at the World Choir Games. Of course, this city has been excited about. First North American city ever to host that extraordinary event that'll last nearly 2 weeks.
That actually sounds like a very fun event. Now, what will Jim Day be doing?
I don't know. They're keeping it all under wraps from what I understand. But he is going to be involved somehow, some way.
Can he sing?
I think he can.
You know, if you, what would he be? A baritone, a tenor?
I would probably say a baritone. That was real easy.
Maybe we'll find out at Reds Live after the ball game.
Good idea. Homer Bailey was so good. He's been good. I mean, in front four, he allowed 2 hits. But then with 2 outs, ran into trouble. More on that in a minute. Heisey had a base hit in the 4th inning with 1 out and then scored all the way from first on the double by Frazier. Reds had a 1-0 lead with that 2-out trouble for Bailey in the 5th. Single by Delgado, long one by Bourne. And you're up to speed. 2-1 Atlanta at the end of 5.
You know, this same matchup happened last time these two teams got together in Atlanta. I was just about to say that, you know, the Reds in that ball game scored 1 run in a scoreless game in the 4th inning. They take the lead 1-0. And then Michael Bourne in the 5th inning hits a triple, comes around to score, made it a 1-1 ball game, and both starting pitchers pitched very well in that game. So very similar ball game again tonight. Runs at a premium.
3, 4, and 5 for Atlanta. Hayward looks at a strike.
Boy, he didn't like taking that first pitch. This guy loves to hit a fastball more than anything, and that was 89 right down Broadway. Not going to get another one of those.
Philadelphia jumps all over Jake Westbrook. 4 runs in the 1st inning.
They were due.
Kentucky native Joe Blanton will get the ball tonight for Philadelphia, and before he even throws a pitch has a big lead. After getting ahead, strike 1, Bailey's missed on 3 in a row. Popped up left side, and Cozart's got it. For out number 1. Well, you know, 30 minutes before every Reds game here on Fox Sports Ohio, it's Red Live, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. Of course, Chris Welsh is there with a checklist before virtually every game. I'm sure he'll have one tomorrow night with the Rockies coming into town. Working on an early checklist for the Rockies.
You better believe it. Already sent my scouts out.
Nice. Looking forward to that. Reds, of course, have not seen the Rockies nearly through the front 2 months of this season. And then won't see them again for quite a while after this 3-game weekend set. Reds won't go to Colorado to the final weekend of July. That'll be Marty's birthday. Marty Brenneman on July the 28th.
Nice.
Out there in the Mile High City. It's a good spot to celebrate a birthday.
I think we got a day off out there.
You're right, on a Thursday after leaving Houston on a Wednesday. That'll be a big day.
Big day. May take a little planning. Come up with something unique for Marty on that particular birthday.
Well, you've been joining us in this entire home stand off. Fly ball center field, out number 2.
Hey, let's take a look at the pitch-by-pitch approach that Homer Bailey took against Dan Uggla. This at bat, first pitch. What a curveball for a strike. Drops it right on in there and says, all right, now I've got him curved. I'm going to try to throw a fastball inside. No. Then a little slider away. No. But I'm not going to throw him much of a fastball here. A little slider again. So he sees only one fastball, does Dan Uggla, and Homer Bailey gets him out on the breaking ball. That's our Mazda pitch-by-pitch. Hey, speaking of your dad, his birthday, I wonder what he does on like a week off. You think he just gets away from the ballpark completely, forgets all about baseball, no TV, no radio, heads to the hills and lives a simple life?
Well, as you know, he is quite the outdoorsman. That one pulled foul, so.
Can you see him with a backpack, hiking his own tent?
Maybe going down to the Athens area down there, Dead Man's Cave, Hocking Hills there, and, just kind of letting loose a little bit. Yeah. Slipping on a pair of sandals.
In his own little, like a cliff dweller for a couple of days.
Yeah. Don't shave. Brush your hair for about a week.
Well, the hair won't move for a week.
Been a good time to get out and do a little canoeing, a little kayaking. Maybe he's got some of that going on.
I can see him doing that.
I haven't heard from him much. Spent a little time with the grandkids, and he's going to do that again, I think, over the weekend. There's a broken bat roller, and Bailey comes back with a 1-2-3 6th. Phillips, Bruce Heisey coming up. Reds down a run. Beginning at 6 o'clock for the Reds fan cam. You could be featured on Reds Live by testing your Reds knowledge and winning some great giveaway prizes. Be part of the fun tomorrow. Holy Grail right on the banks on Joe Nuxhall Way. 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Two runs, 4 hits, 3 men left on base for the Braves. Reds have 1 run, 6 hits, and they've stranded 5. Brandon has struck out and bounced into a double play tonight. That double play came with runners on the corners and only 1 out in the 3rd. Two to Phillips. Jay Bruce on deck, then Chris Heisey. pitch did he go around, and no on the appeal down to Mark Carlson. So Phillips aboard.
Good at bat right there by Brandon Phillips. You know, when your team's not hitting the guy very much, and they're not really doing a whole lot, obviously, against Delgado. Something about the energy of getting a runner on base via a base on balls to start the inning. Makes the manager nervous. Makes the pitching coach nervous. See if Jay Bruce can't center one.
Nowhere near the strike zone, and on to second goes Brandon Phillips. And so the wild pitch puts a tying run into scoring position.
Want to get that runner to third now.
Jay has bounced, trying to bunt his way on, so officially thrown out by the catcher. That was bunted right out in front of the plate in the second inning, and then he struck out looking in the fourth. 1-1 to Bruce.
And Bruce has got to figure what Delgado wants to do with him right here. He knows that Bruce wants to get it to the right side. They're going to pitch him down and away like he did that last fastball. If he comes in, it'll be all for show. Change his eye level, get him off the plate a little bit, get him thinking, all right, there was your pitch in. Now we're going to go back away. Coming in again. How about that?
Bruce hitless in his last 12 at bats. Trying to chain. Yeah. And Jay only one hit in his last 29 at bats. Two and two to Bruce. Runner is Phillips out at second with nobody out. Brandon, the tying run here in the bottom of the sixth inning. And it's inside. So we've seen a lot more of that in this at bat. Delgado to Bruce.
Well, they pitched him away last time. They're just changing up the way they're going up at him. But they're not giving him strikes inside. They're just pushing him off the plate.
Soft liner right at the first baseman. He hit that ball off the end of the bat, looked like. One out in the inning.
Well, he runs the count full, does Jay Bruce, and he gets around this ball a little bit, but a heads-up base running play by Brandon Phillips. If you're not paying attention right there, that shortstop sneaks in behind you and you get picked.
Brian Price on the horn.
The red phone. Porky Lopez at the other end of that one.
Yep. So now Heisey looks at a strike. Chris fly to left in the second inning, just missed. Hitting that thing right on the money and into the seats out in left field in the second inning. Then singled to left and scored all the way from first on a Frazier double for the Reds' lone run in the fourth. And that's a base hit into right field. I don't think they're going to test the arm. And it's bobbled out there by Hayward, but Phillips had already stopped. You can't blame anybody there. Mark Berry had thrown up the stop sign. Phillips had stopped and then tried to get him to start it back up again when the ball was bobbled by Hayward, but No way.
Well, if he had sent Brandon Phillips and Hayward comes up with this ball clean, there's a real good chance that Brandon Phillips gets nailed at the plate. Very strong arm from that Atlanta right fielder on a fly in there and on a line. There's Brandon Phillips coming around right here. Stop, start, too late. Don't do it now.
Well, now the Cincinnati native Roger McDowell, the Atlanta pitching coach, comes out for a quick chat with Delgado. He'll be joined by the catcher and the entire Braves infield. Reds have a tying run at third. And the go-ahead run at first with only one out. So meeting over on the mound, and now Frazier digging in. Todd 2 for 2, a single to left and doubled homer run down the left field line his last time up. Strike one. Nice play by Ross. That pitch nowhere near the strike zone. Played that off that chest protector, preventing Phillips from coming in. And perhaps as importantly right now, Heisey getting into scoring position.
Now, we've seen some real wild ones out of Delgado in this inning. You got to feel that this youngster, he's only 22 years old. And maybe the tightness of the ball game, how tense this inning is, beginning to wear on him a little bit. Now they're going to take some kind of a timeout as David Ross walking off the field. He's got some pad or something fell off his helmet or his face mask. That's a team number you see right there. Runners in scoring position.
Three and one to Frazier. I'm not so sure they'd rather not take their chances with Mesoraco the way this at bat has gone so far to Frazier.
Well, he's not going to get a fastball. At least not one the way he got one last time on the inner third of the plate.
3-1 breaking ball, and that'll load him up.
Good old-fashioned pitch around.
So the night is over for Randall Delgado. He went through the front 5 innings tonight, allowed only 1 run with only 1 walk. But here in the 6th inning, a leadoff walk to Phillips. After getting an out, allowed a single to Heisey, a walk to Frazier, and he'll leave with the bases juiced. So this will be our Skyline call to the bullpen. We'll tell you about the new Atlanta pitcher when we return. Brought to you by King's Honda and the King's Auto Mall. Visit King'sHondaUSA.com. We've played now 4 games in this series, and the new Atlanta pitcher has pitched in now 3 of them. Right-hander Chris Medlin on to face Devin Mesoraco.
Yeah, the first one on Monday where he struck out a couple in a perfect inning that he had, and then he only pitched a third of an inning on Tuesday. But he's got no room for error right here, and you can see that he'll walk a batter or two. He's got 13 strikeouts. 7 bases on balls. And a good spot right here for Mesoraco to be aggressive. You get a first pitch fastball, you let it rip.
Throwing the first pitch breaking ball, and again Ross has to smother it.
Well, Mesoraco has seen him before. He saw them in the game that Mike Leake pitched. And he hit a fly ball to center field, so at least he has an idea of what Medlin looks like up there.
Two and 0.
This is where the hitter's got to tell himself. Pressure's on the pitcher. He's got to make it be right there.
Glover down the left field line. Does it stay fair? It is a grand slam for Devin Mesoraco. Woo!
David Ross wanted it down and away. He sees it up and in. Mesoraco puts a good swing on it, and with the bases loaded, bye-bye. How about this Reds ball club? Man.
They want a curtain call from Mesoraco. A crowd standing and cheering and waiting for the Reds rookie catcher.
Boy, it's a good crowd, too, tonight. They are into it.
And he comes up. Well done, young man.
Woo.
First career grand slam. It won't be the last for that fella. Cairo batting for Homer Bailey rolls out to the second baseman. So the Reds now with a 5-2 lead after the bases loaded home run by Mesoraco. Wow. Now I got to ask you, away from that grand slam, are you a little surprised? Bailey is coming off a very impressive 6th inning. Are you a little surprised that he's coming out of this game after the grand slam? Reds have a 3-run lead now.
No, I think with the emotional change that's gone on in this ball game, it's a good time to go to the bullpen, bring in somebody fresh.
That ball is hit hard by Cozart. And that'll bounce off the wall, and Zach coming hard to second. Here's it, throw and a slide, and they got it. Good throw by Prado. But fireworks indeed for the Redlegs. Mesoraco clears it just inside the fair pole. Children's in the top 10 for all selected pediatric specialties in U.S. News and World Report's 2011 Best Children's Hospitals. And by the dependable, long-lasting Chevy Silverado and your tri-state Chevy dealers.
Now the last play of the inning, Zach Cozart hits a line drive, nearly gets out of the ballpark about 3 feet, but it goes right back to Prado. Prado throws the ball into Ugla. Nice tag by Ugla. And that's the way the inning ends. But in the inning, man, oh man. A grand slam home run by Devin Mesoraco. Reds up by 3. Sam LeCure in the ball game. And right now, the guy behind the plate feeling awfully good about himself. And he'll talk it over a little bit with David Ross, fellow catcher standing up there, you know. Competitors, yes, but there's something about that catching fraternity. 13th time for Sam LeCure. He's had a good run of it, too. You know, getting back to your point at the very end of the inning, is am I surprised to see Dusty Baker make the move to the bullpen? I said about the emotional change in this ball game, and with a well-rested bullpen, I'm usually a guy that likes to see the starter get extended. If there's a doubt, I would stay with the starter. But in this case, by far, this is a good move, at least in my estimation, to go to your bullpen right now. You've got a whole different energy in this ball game now than you did even 10 minutes ago. So you capitalize on it, bring a fresh arm in here, and if Sam runs into a problem, you've got some help down there.
Right, so LeCure now trying to at least get through this seventh, perhaps a couple of innings, depending on well he throws to the bottom part of the order. You've got Ross, Pastor, Nicky, Francisco, and then a pinch hitter.
I think that's key, too.
For the 5 runs, of course, charged to Delgado, the other, obviously, to Medlin after giving up the home run. Drive right at Mesoraco, and that's out number 1 for LeCure in the Atlanta 7th inning.
Now, another reason why Dusty Baker not afraid to go to the bullpen at all, because you've got a powerful pen. Top relievers in the National League, the Reds are first in wins, second in earned run average, first in a bunch of other very important categories. Opponent batting average, walks and hits divided by innings pitched. That's what WHIP is.
All of those opponent's batting average is an unbelievable.
It is
209 as a group.
Just a stingy bunch of guys down there. That's all.
And again, you know, you continue to really give credit as there's a ground ball to Votto.
Nice play.
Maybe to some of the guys who, not to say they didn't figure they would be here, although I think J.J. Hoover certainly fits that bill. But, you know, even picking up Alfredo Simon the day before the regular season, to think that when you go all the way to the bullpen the Reds thought they were going to have, with Massett in it, Bray in it, and a new closer in Ryan Madsen, the Reds thought this was going to be the best bullpen in the league. I'm not sure if you'd have walked up to Dusty Baker and Walt Jocketty and said, hey, by the way, you're not going to have Bray but for 2 or 3 outings. You're not going to have Massett, and you're not going to have Madsen at all. Do you still think you're the best bullpen in the league? I'm not sure they'd have bought that.
I don't think so either, but of course you didn't expect to see the kind of arms that they were able to pick up. I mean, you pick up Alfredo Simon on the waiver wire. This guy's got a great arm and a very versatile pitcher, too. He's a long man, and, you know, you can put him in a mop-up role. He eats up a lot of innings. He's been a starter before. I think the guy they did a great scouting job on was J.J. Hoover. And the more I talk to Atlanta people about J.J. Hoover, talked to a couple of their coaches today and players, and, man, they just love this guy. And he is just tickled to death to be with the Reds. Of course, they got Hoover in exchange for the guy at the plate, Juan Francisco.
In the air, right center field. Does Stubbs have room? He leaps and runs out of room. So Francisco gets his 2nd home run of this series. And that makes it a 5-3 Reds lead.
Well, he's been swinging for it the whole series. After a couple of punch outs tonight, he finally got one. And usually when Juan Francisco swings like that and the ball's in a high, long fly ball on a warm night at Great American Ballpark, there's a chance it's leaving the yard, and it barely does. 2nd row, and he gets one. So the Reds lead down to 2.
Medlin with 2 outs and nobody on is going to bat, and he loops one right at Jay Bruce, and that'll end the inning. So a home run by Francisco brings Atlanta a run closer. 5-3 as they stand and stretch. Rockies on Friday night, tomorrow night here at Great American Ballpark, and be sure to take advantage of the Reds 4 for $48 ticket deal. 4 view-level tickets, you get 4 Reds hats. All that for $48. Got the great post-game fireworks show presented by Orville Redenbacher after the game. So come on down to the ballpark tomorrow night.
Well, as it turned out, it really wasn't Chris Medlin at the plate. In fact, the hitter substitution happened so fast. It was Matt Diaz that went up and took a first pitch and flew it out to right field. So
I beg your pardon.
Johnny Venters comes in, new pitcher. Medlin only 2/3 of an inning. He gets tagged for a run and a couple of hits, and here's a hard throwing left-hander.
Venters had a very strange outing here last night. I'm not sure among. And that one is hammered into left field, and the Reds lead back up to 3. Stubbs has 3 home runs now in this series.
I'll tell you, he's had a very good night at the plate. That ball up and out over the plate. He's got plenty of power when he centers it, and he certainly does on our Nissan drive of the game way back, and Reds pick up that run just like that. Boy, that sounded good off the bat. People are pumped up here, isn't it? It's great.
Really is. Of course, that's the way it is. I mean, it doesn't matter what city you're talking about, boy. When your baseball team gets it rolling and they're playing the kind of baseball the Reds are playing right now, I mean, people get excited. And you'd like to think that that would reveal itself with the crowds that, you know, we could have over the weekend with Colorado in town. I mean, the weather's supposed to be great. It's going to get warm over the weekend, really warm. I mean, you got a Friday night game, a Saturday night game, and a Sunday afternoon game. And boy, it'd be nice to see this place jam-packed over the weekend. There's a 4-pitch walk to Votto. You know, Chris, I was trying to talk about Venters. I mean, you're talking about now one of the elite left-handed relievers in the game. He hasn't been around long, but last year this guy was an all-star. He had a great year. But, you know, so far this year, there are those that see the Braves and wonder, you know, what is going on with Venters here of late.
Well, he's only pitched one other time in this series. Of course, this is the 4th game of the series, but he had a very bad outing. In fact, his worst outing of the year against the Reds when the Reds were in Atlanta.
He had a bad outing over the weekend against Tampa Bay. You know, last night he comes in a game. It was a 1-1 game, and there's a ground ball by Phillips. There's one, and that's a double play.
Pretty quick turn out there by Dan Uggla.
He took a line drive off the leg, but clearly, you know, he was walking around and told the trainer, Jeff Porter, said, look, I'm all right, go on back. He intentionally walked a batter, and then they took him out for another left-handed reliever.
And they did it with Jay Bruce at the plate. I guess they didn't want to take any chances with Venters. Obviously, you don't.
Reds have hit 10 home runs in this series. 10 of them against the Atlanta Braves. The team that came in among the elite pitching teams in either league. The only starter they missed in their entire rotation was Tim Hudson. That's a good one to miss. I'm not so sure if you put him 1 through 5, that wouldn't be the guy that I'd pick to want to miss.
Well, you're no doubt. I mean, he put it to the Reds when he saw him down there in Atlanta.
Strike 3 called, and that'll end the inning. But Stubbs pushes that lead back to 3. We go to the 8th. America. Carlos Gonzalez and the Rockies right in the Queen City to take on the Reds. Baseball Night in America presented by Chevrolet is this Saturday. 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox. So for most of you in the greater Cincinnati area, that means go check out Channel 19, your local Fox affiliate, to find the game on Saturday night. We'll have tomorrow's game and then Sunday's game right here on Fox Sports Ohio. Sean Marshall takes over on the mound. Sam the Cure, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 run. And now Marshall with a 3-run lead in the 8th.
19th time for Marshall, 8 of 9 for save and save opportunities, but here he is in the 8th inning doing the setup job. 22 strikeouts, only 3 walks for Marshall. I mean, if you start stacking up the numbers of what Chapman has done, which is just off the charts, and you add to the strikeout walk ratio of Sean Marshall, man, oh man, I mean, opposition rarely puts a ball in play in the 8th and 9th inning.
Now, Chris, from a mental standpoint, you know, Marshall, I mean, he is as savvy a guy as they come. There's a bouncer. Got to get rid of it quickly here and have some hair on it. And Kozar does just that to get the speedy Bourne.
Nice play.
But when you go from being the setup guy, which Marshall has always been his entire career outside of getting a chance to start every now and again, you become the closer. And that's what a lot of guys who are setting up, that's what they cover. They want to be the closer. But now all of a sudden you're not. From a mental standpoint, is that a hurdle to overcome?
I don't think it is for Sean Marshall. I think he's on a long-term contract, a multi-year deal. So he's not like he's pitching this year to be the closer for next year. He's pitching this year thinking, hey, I'm going to be a big part of this ball club. And you know, he didn't think when he came over here he was going to be the closer, because right away after he signed, the Reds went out and signed Ryan Madsen.
2 out.
I think what he wants to be is part of a lights-out bullpen. That the other team looks at the Reds and says, man, this is a 6-inning game right here. Because if we don't get them through the 6th inning, they go to that bullpen in the 7th, and it's lights out, whoever that 7th inning pitcher is. And then whoever that 8th inning is, maybe it's me, Marshall. And then whoever in the 9th, obviously now it's Chapman. That's what you want. You want to be able to shorten a ball game, and the Reds have done that.
Now Jason Hayward, very quiet night for him, 0 for 3. Of course, the Reds will not see the Braves again the remainder of this year. They're finished. They've completed their 2 series against one another. Every now and again, saw it with the Dodgers 2 years ago. You'll play a team outside your division in 3 series. It is rare indeed.
Well, like the Mets, the Reds will see this year.
That's right.
They'll go to New York twice.
This guy right here is a guy that I think is worth keeping an eye on and how his season plays out. There are some concerns being whispered already in Atlanta circles about where is Hayward's career headed. Now, he's only 22 years old, but he had a very impressive rookie year, a very disappointing sophomore year. And while he'll hit the long home run, and he has driven in 22 runs, so far has been pretty quiet with the bat, batting in the 230s. Now, there certainly is a ton of talent there. It's like people were talking in a similar vein to Jay Bruce. You know, really, even now, Bruce is 25, but over the last couple of years. Marshall and everybody in the infield thought it was strike 3.
I think half the people in the stands did too. Our box tracks did not think it was in there, so give the benefit of the doubt to Chris Conroy. That's a big home run by Stubbs. Because you've got their legit home run hitter coming to the plate right here against the left-handed pitcher. So even if Uggla goes deep, you still have the lead.
Boy, and what about the home run ball in this series? 21 of the 24 combined runs for the two teams have come via the home run. Reds have scored 16 runs in this series. All but 2 have come in their 10 home runs. 10 in 4 games.
%20 of them caught by Caleb Lloyd.
That's exactly right. Good point. One and one account on Uggla. Big swing and a miss. J.J. Hoover, just in case, getting loose in the Reds bullpen. Three and two now the count on Dan Uggla. A big pitch right here from Marshall and the Reds. Marshall retired the first 2 in the inning before walking Hayward. If you walk Uggla, the tying run comes to the plate in the Atlanta 8th. Trying to avoid that right here and right now. And it is in the air to left field. Playable for Heisey. Inning over. By subscribing to MLB.TV today. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. Go to Reds.com to order or to get more details. Livan Hernandez, second time we've seen him in this series. He'll pitch in the 8th.
You know, I think this guy will be a very important part of this team for the Braves before the end of the year. Talk about an innings eater. You can use him in any way you want. If a starter goes down, you don't have anybody to take his place, you run him out there for a while. He can save you in a game that looks like it's going to be a blowout.
And the Braves are, you know, they figure to be in this thing the entire year.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we were talking before the game. I mean, you talk about playing in a killer division. Now, whether it ends up this way, time will tell. But you've got the 4th place team in a 5-team division that is 4 games over the 500 mark. Heisey gets it straight up in the air and foul ground and out of play. And you've got the top 4 teams separated by 2 games. Atlanta a half game behind the Nationals. Miami 2 back. I think the Marlins right now are a team to keep an eye on. They're losing to the Giants tonight. But they have been playing very well in the month of May. But Atlanta's going to be there all year long.
They are going to be there all year long. And I think that what we've seen here is, you know, the old saying is not who you play, it's when you play them.
Yep.
Now, you come in here and you're missing Brian McCann. You're missing Freddie Freeman, not really seeing the ball, dealing with eye issues, and you're missing Chipper Jones. Those are 3 big parts out of your lineup that you're getting them at the right time. So you might as well take advantage of it.
Yep. You know, I love the comment made by Freddie Gonzalez. You and I were talking to him before the game today, Chris. I mean, he is a really easy guy to like.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking to him before the ball game about, you know, he said, you know, everybody's been talking about this ballpark and how the ball flies out of here and, you know, so on and so forth. You know, I guess a lot of Atlanta people, you know, complaining that, you know, home runs are too easy here. I mean, Freddie Gonzalez looked us right in the eye and said, hey, last time I checked, they're not moving the fences back when we bat.
And it's not like you're designing your team so that they hit the ball into the second row here. You're just putting ball players out there, the best team you think. But what you do need here, and the Reds have it, is good defense and good relief pitching. Because where teams really whack home runs is all the middle relievers.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Livan Hernandez. Our John Morrell hot dog play of the game. What else? To give him the lead. A grand slam by the rookie Devin Mesoraco. There'll be a lot more where that came from. It's only a matter of time. Really spot play from Mesoraco. I mean, right now, if you had to say who's the #1 catcher, that'd be a pretty easy answer. That would be Ryan Hannigan. And he's earned it.
Well, he has, but look how it's divided up, though. I mean, Dusty's gotten to those catchers and said, all right, you know, Ryan Hannigan, you're going to catch these 3 guys. And Mesoraco, you get familiar with these other 2. So they know when they're going to play. They know when they can prepare. I think it's a great way to handle the catching staff.
Well, it looks like another Reds reliever is going to get a chance to close out a game. Logan Ondrusek coming on. From the 9th inning, Reds trying to sweep the Braves in a 4-game series. Last time the Reds had a 4-game sweep against anybody, you got to go all the way back to 2009. But the last time they swept the Atlanta Braves here in Cincinnati, that was about what, the first full week of the season, second full week of the season, 1980.
And that's when they played the Braves in the same division. So you played them a lot back in those days. They've got their brooms out here tonight.
Wilson Valdez going to take over at third base for Todd Frazier. And on the mound, Logan Ondrusek. He has 1 save this year. So too does Jose Arredondo. Chapman with 2, Marshall with 8. That is the highest total of Reds pitchers with at least 1 save in a season since 2006, when 8 pitchers had a save that year. And the interesting part of it is, you know, you go back to 2006, you didn't have a very good team. You didn't have a very good bullpen. So there's a reason why you had 8 guys that had a save. This is the best bullpen in the league. And yet, due to not wanting to overuse guys, Chapman in this case, it would be 3 days in a row.
Then you certainly couldn't use them tomorrow. But you have to say you have a 3-run lead tonight. You want to burn Chapman? No. Ondrusek needs a little work. He's only been scored upon in 2 games all year long.
You know, Chris, I don't know about you, but I mean, when you have situations like this, and obviously, you know, it's a great point you make about not wanting to use Chapman. There's a lot to be learned with bringing other guys into a game to know what it's like to get the final 3 outs of a game, because there are very few teams in baseball that have a legitimate closer that's going to get every save chance there is throughout the rest of the year, that have a chance to give other guys this opportunity to close out a game.
I think that's a great point.
Now, the point is, when you get that chance, you better come in there and nail it down. And Hinske starts off the 9th inning with a base hit into right center field.
Now, looking back to that 2016, where you had all those different guys who had saves, David Weathers was the #1 guy. He had 12 saves that year. Todd Coffey had 8. Everyday Eddie Guardado had 8. Scott Schoenweiss had 3. Billy Bray had a couple. Kent Merker, Rick White, and Esteban Yan each had a save.
Reds fans, if you're in the restaurant industry, let JTM Food Group help you with great tasting, healthier products for your menu. JTM. Leadoff man aboard. And now David Ross. Reds lead by 3. We're in the 9th. Ball 1. Another outstanding effort by a Red starter. Homer Bailey, 6 innings, 2 runs tonight. Two and 2 on David Ross. 1 on, nobody out. Wow. 3 and 2 the count. Doesn't appear to be any action down in that Reds bullpen tonight. Apparently this game is going to ride on the right shoulder of one Logan Ondrusek. Arredondo's been very busy of late. Big strikeout there to retire Ross. 1 out.
He's got a lot of run on that 2-seam fastball, and that ball just bores right inside, right down towards the knees of David Ross. Pitched Ross outside the entire at bat until that last pitch.
Well, you're at the bottom part of the batting order here. Time to just come after guys. And Pastornicki shoots a fastball into right field, and now the Braves will send the tying run to the plate with 1 out. Juan Francisco, the former Red, we know he has unbelievable power. He's hit the 2nd longest home run in the history of this ballpark. He's hit a home run already here tonight.
Now this is where in a perfect world you have a more of a balanced bullpen with another left-hander still waiting for Bill Bray to be able to get ready enough to come back to the major leagues.
Well, they've got J.J. Hoover cranking it up now in the Reds bullpen. Boy, and Ondrusek, every batter in the inning is falling behind. And that is not his M.O. pitching in the 7th or the 8th.
It really is not. It's just amazing what the 9th inning can do to some guys.
One and 0 to Juan Francisco. On the ground, Votto will throw for 1. The relay throw. The Reds have swept the Atlanta Braves. A 4-game series for the first time here at home against Atlanta since 1980. And it's a 6-game winning streak for the Cincinnati Reds.
Well, that's a confident-looking team right there.
What a way to begin this 7-game homestand. One of the hottest teams in all of baseball. In fact, there were only 2 teams going back to April the 19th that had better records among all National League teams than the Reds. The Dodgers and Atlanta. Well, now there's only one team that's played better baseball in the National League since April 19th, and that's the Dodgers. The Reds right now, boys and girls, are rolling. They have won 21 of their last 32.